Oh, hell yeah.
This is going to be a battle right here. And to the lead. All right, I like that. I'm leading this.
And Soundhead, he is the winner at the Charlotte Bowl.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to the season finale of the Core League Season 1. I am Jake Cross from NASCAR on MDK. I'm going to get all of you guys filled in for tonight's Soundhead Entertainment 500 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We have one story to talk about today, and that is resulting in a driver change in the Queen of Memes Racing stable. It was announced earlier this week that Jarrett Lomberg will not be participating in tonight's race, and he will be replaced by Jake Bassinger in the number 42 Chevrolet. Now, this is a one race deal, so just to let you know that Jarrett he will be back for season 2. However, for season 1 in the finale, he will be replaced for that 42 car. Yeah, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the track facts for Atlanta Motor Speedway, the same place where the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series are racing this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, as well as Friday nights in the trucks. It's a 1.5-mile track, 4 turns as usual. The track has not been repaved since it was last reconfigured in the fall of 1997. Field window 25 to 30 laps, and this 81 laps make up 121.5-miler race. Now let's talk about the 3 drivers in contention for the championship. Now, Ed Soundhead finished second at Talladega to Jerry Lewis, which is key because had he won the race, he would have gained some points on the championship leaders. Take a look at the top 3 drivers that are let's take a look at the top 10 drivers in points right now. And the drivers located in yellow, those are the drivers that have mathematical chances at winning the championship. Brian Pasternak, the points leader. Dale Reynolds, 6 points behind Brian Pasternak, with Ed Soundhead 15 points. Joey Stone, Trey Normile, Jerry Lewis, Joseph Lombard, Brian Littell, Eric Stupp, and all the rest of the drivers, they are eliminated from championship contention. So you want to get a more in-depth on how these drivers stack up to one another, so let's go with a special edition of the Core on MDK Crunch the Numbers. In season 1 of the Creators Online Racing establishment, 3 drivers, all from the Ford stable, will have mathematical chances at taking home the championship in the Core League. We first started with the points leader, Brian Pasternak. In his 11 starts, he has scored 3 wins this season, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, 252 laps led, with an average finish of 3.6. And just to let you know, he has the most wins, most laps led, and the best average finished out of all championship contenders. Let's move on to the driver in second place, 6 points behind the leader, Dale Reynolds, the number 32 car, 11 wins so far in this season. He has scored 0 wins, but he does have the most top 5 and top 10s. With 10 top 5s and 11 top 10s, he has only led, however, 32 laps this season with an average finish of 4.0. And Ed Soundhead, he's gonna be a driver with a lot of luck heading into this race if he wants to have a shot at the championship. He has scored 2 wins this season, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, with an average finish of 5.5 with 145 laps led. All 3 of these drivers are separated by just 15 points, which should be a nail-biter heading into the season finale at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now let's take a look at the entry list. There are drivers that are competing in the season finale at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ed Soundhead, Rusty Wallace, and Brian Pasternak. Soundhead and Pasternak, the championship contenders. Joseph Lombard in the number 9 Chevrolet. Caleb Hoffman in the number 10 car. Joey Stone in the number 12. Trey Normile, Raw Gator in the 14 car. Jerry Lewis, Talladega winner last weekend in the 18 car. Brendan Littell in the number 22 car, Cody Higgin in the number 28, Dale Reynolds in the 32 car, and Jake Bassinger, who I mentioned earlier, is replacing Jarrett Lomberg in a one-off race this weekend. Darren Gillum in the number 43 car, Michael Cosi Jr. returns to the Core League in the number 66, as well as Ray Jacobs and Ryan Labonte, the Daytona 500 champion, in the 95 car. So this is, like I said, the final race of the season. So what can we expect at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Well, first off, we have to focus on the driver that you're going to need a lot of help, and that is Ed Soundhead in the number 2 car. Remember, he's 15 points behind the leader. He's going to have to, just as a precautionary, lead the most laps and win the race, just to maybe have a shot, because again, we showed that start earlier during crunch the numbers. Brian Pasternak, average finish of like 3.6, and Dale Reynolds, an average finish of 4.0. These drivers are very consistent up front for actually every single race in the season. So Soundhead, if he wants to win this race, he's gonna need to lead the most laps, win the race, and maybe have the drivers finish outside the top 5 if he wants to have any shot at holding the title at the end of this race. Now Dale Reynolds, he's a bit of a pickle. I don't know, it's a weird word to say that, but he's 6 points behind Brian Pasternak, so he's gonna need, he can beat him on points, but again, that average finish 3.6, that is the best out of any driver in the core league. Now what what Dale Reynolds needs to know is that he cannot afford to tie on points to Brian Pasternak, because if he, remember, with the core league, the rules are set up like this: if any sort of driver, if they tie during points at the season finale, it's set up into 3 different scenarios. The first one is whoever has the most wins at the end of the season. The second alternate way is whoever has the best average finish of the season, and the third way is who scored, or who has the highest position at Atlanta. Brian Pasternak has dominated. I was already covered the first 2. He has the most wins, 3 wins compared to Dale Reynolds 0, and he has a better average finish. Pasternak 3.6 to Reynolds 4.0. So based on that alone, I feel like Brian Pasternak will take home the championship. I just don't see, Reynolds and Soundhead, they can be up front and they can contend for the win, and they can win, but Pasternak, he is so consistent on speed and on finishing position. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe he has finished lower than 6th. So that shows you how dominant he has been throughout the entire season. And I feel like that's just going to continue on to Atlanta. Atlanta is a driver's track. It's not really based much off of luck like last week at Talladega. It's more based off of a driver's skill. Brian Pasternak, he has that. All 3 of those drivers do, but I feel like Pasternak, with that cushion of 6 points and that consistency, I feel like that's probably gonna seal his fate, and I believe he will win the core league championship. To win the race, I really don't know who's gonna win the race, but I do feel like the 2 car of Ed Soundhead, I feel like he might, just part of me feels like he might be able to win this race, but again, I'm not really sure. But I do know that Brian Pasternak will most likely be your season 1 champion in the core league. But that about wraps up the core league on MDK Countdown to Green from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Thank you guys so much for tuning into all the races on the core league channel, races, radioactives, and all that stuff. And speed of radioactives, I just want to apologize for the inconvenience, for the lack of radioactives. Me and the M&M Cup Series, we're trying our best to get these out as quick as possible. And hopefully in the coming days we can get 3 or 4 races done out for you guys, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. Thank you to everyone for the admins of the core league for allowing me to create the Countdown to Green and put it on their YouTube channel and to get some exposure on my channel. If you guys want to check out NASCAR on MDK for other content like this, I'll leave a link in the description box down below. But until then, thank you so much for watching the Countdown to Green from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We hope you guys enjoyed the Soundhead Entertainment 500.